Good morning. It's Sunday morning, January the 23rd, 2022, and it's a joy to be able to share some thoughts with you from the scriptures today. I'm Pastor Mike Custer, the pastor at Bible Baptist Church in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and we're going to be reading just one verse, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 3 this morning. Proverbs 21:3 says, "To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice." And this is an interesting verse because it kind of reminds me of what the prophet Samuel said to King Saul back in the book of 1 Samuel, that to obey is better than sacrifice and to hearken than the fat of rams. God is more concerned about some things than other things. And in this case, he says it's better to do justice and judgment than to offer sacrifices. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. God, in other words, when we talk about judgment and justice, we're just talking about doing what's right and being equitable in our conclusions. And that means applying Bible principles to our life. And God would much rather us do that than to offer him sacrifices. I recall in Isaiah chapter 1, God said, I'm just to Israel, I'm just sick of your sacrifices and your new moons and your offering of animals offerings and your religious observances, because you're not doing what's right. You're not being obedient to the word of God. Just find out what you ought to do and just do what's right. Do the right thing and just follow the word of God. There are a lot of things. There are always going to be things that we don't understand fully, but do what you know and do what God has commanded you to do. And it's more acceptable to the Lord to do justice and judgment than even to offer sacrifices. Don't imagine, I guess probably some people imagine that they can just bribe God. They can buy their way into God's favor just by making certain sacrifices, by giving offerings. And often people just give a pittance of what they would give or what they could give to the Lord if they were fully surrendered to God, but they consider it a sacrifice, and they're trying to barter with God on some level and win God's favor by making a sacrifice. God said it's better just to do what's right, just to apply justice and judgment in your life and just answer to the truth and just do what's right. Just do what's right. Do what you know. God bless you today.